it's really important to say at the outset, racism is real, racism exists. It is a carryover from a very abnormal society. I would definitely not deny that. And I think it is important to look at racism, to focus on it. I mean, that's why I'm wearing this shirt, Umlungu. I realize I am a white person in a society that has changed. Even those of us who feel as if we are progressive, have always been doing things that are progressive and have been anti-racist, I'm sure there are aspects we've got to keep looking at. So that's I wanted to just get that over with. The point about what Jacob Zuma is trying to do, though, is to use a very real hurt, racism, as a smokescreen for hiding the corruption, the nepotism, the cronyism, the state capture that has been a part of his presidency. That is what he's trying to do. As Peter Dirk Ace has just put out a statement saying that in the old days, satirists were told that they were stereotyping the then regime. That was the kind of criticism that was used to try and stifle satire, to try and stifle cartooning, stand-up comedy, all kinds of things, reviews, etc. And this is the same sort of thing that is being used now by Jacob Zuma and by certain people around him to try and stifle criticism. This is my response in a cartoon today. In his Human Rights Day address, President Zuma warned against racists masquerading as cartoonists. News just in, cartoonists warned against gangsters masquerading as presidents. As it happened, there was a sort of a plural in there because the cartoonists, so I kept the plural in, and the gangsters could refer to Jacob Zuma, could refer to the Guptas, could refer to the Zuptas, the whole bunch of them. That is what we are criticizing. And as Nelson Mandela said, to me, personally, criticism is, when I talked about cartoons becoming critical of the ANC and of government, he said, but that is your job. And I think it is our job.
Jonathan, are you offended by the president's words?
No, not at all, because it's not, I don't think it's personal, I think it's political. If you look at the cartoons that have been called racist, to me, they're not racist. They are things that are criticizing, as cartoonists do all over the world. Cartoonists criticize people who happen to be in power. So the fact that I may be a white cartoonist and that this is the easiest defense is pretty obvious. Some of the cartoons that Jacob Zuma sued me for, he sued me in two major cases, one for 3 cartoons and one for 1 cartoon. And to me, the notions that were raised in both cases, that the cartoons were racist, I thought they were totally spurious. The cartoons were looking at particular aspects of his misbehavior in the run-up to becoming president, and then and they were, in a way, I think I'd like to say that the cartoon, at least the Rape of Justice cartoon, which was criticized as being racist, was, I think, quite prescient in the sense that that is the way that he's behaved all through his presidency. He has been abusing the justice system. I think he got to power wrongly, and I think this is an easy way, it's an easy label. As it happens as well, though, which is very interesting, in South Africa now, it's not just white cartoonists. There are a lot of black cartoonists, black stand-up comedians, black satirists. He's, by the way, by using the word satire, many of us involved in satire think that he's going beyond just cartoonists. Now, he used the cartoonists specifically, but he talked about satire. It refers to things like the news, which I've been involved in, less so now, but I've been involved in for a long time. Conrad Koch and Chester Missing, Peter Dirk Ace, various the stand-up comedians, many of whom are black as well. So they're black cartoonists, black stand-up comedians. All of us are lumped into this thing of satirists, of people criticizing him in ways that hurt. And I think they hurt because they show up his failings. And what they're trying to do is label all of us who say these things as racists.
Do you see this as an attack on freedom of speech, Jonathan?
Oh, very much so. What's happening at the moment is that there are laws that have been prepared for quite some time dealing with hate crimes and hate speech. I spoke to your very station, your program, on that issue, and my warning then, and I'll give the warning again, is that hate crimes are clearly things that should be legislated against, and there's no grey area there. If you can show that a crime was committed, somebody was hurt, a crime was committed against a person or group of people after something that can be seen as racist, and then somebody was actually attacked, hurt, killed, whatever, that's a very important thing to legislate against. When it comes to hate speech, and the racism thing is being tagged in there, it's a very grey area. First of all, you're encroaching on speech if there's no incitement to harm, there's a very, very grey area there. So anything can be sort of tagged as racist and then legislated against. It's obviously going to have a chilling effect. I think young cartoonists, young satirists, young writers, young singers, young puppeteers, young whatever, may feel that chilling effect. That's the intention. People like myself, water off a duck's back. I mean, I'll just continue fighting in the same way that I have. And those of us with a lot of experience, we know what they're trying to do. And I think a lot of people in society do. But I think it will have a chilling effect, and I think it's going to be linked to this, I think this warning, which was very well written in his speech, except for the bit that said racists masquerading as cartoonists. Now, what did he actually say? Racists use art as a form of expression like cartoonists do. That was a very crude thing, and that was a clear intention to polarize society.